You see that? I feel like I'm gonna die. Like legit throw up. I just finished my first ever workout at Orange Theory Fitness in Peterborough. And you're about to meet the owner of this franchise. And I feel like she doesn't look nearly as bad as I do. That was intense. Holy curse word. How do you actually need a sweater on?
Oh, I was just trying to cover my armpit holes.
Like, I legit...
Are you recording that?
I'm recording. Get in the van. You're in my office now.
Hey, let's go!
I don't like cameras.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, you actually are recording already.
Right?
You're
Look
a jerk.
This is Katie, everyone.
Oh,
Woo!
I got a red face.
I know, we look like Oompa Loompas.
Why do you have it facing you so that you don't look cross-eyed, but I do?
No. Look it. You're fine.
Okay.
Just lean in and don't be so difficult.
Okay.
Like, lean.
Like that?
So, here's the deal. I wanted to do an interview with this because the story is awesome. And it's everything that I preach. And she's living it. And so she's like, okay, yeah, we'll do an interview, but I want you to come and experience the workout first.
You fell for that.
I legit feel like I'm going to throw up.
Me too. It's okay.
But it was awesome. The problem, I think, was that last night I had a massive craving. And I don't know if you have this in your experience, but it's like, I just give in to them now. Like, I stop. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I wanted an apple fritter. So I went to the store and they didn't have one apple fritter. They had a pack.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ate them all. I ate 2 of them last night, and then I ate 2 of them before I came here.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because my new thing, if you go to Tim Hortons, apple fritters are my thing right now.
And it's
but
like,
I'm stopping.
Okay, well, can
Today.
we stop together?
Yeah.
Because I don't ever want an apple fritter ever again, because that whole workout, it was like that's what I felt like. Legit.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta roll up our window. Okay. Now that we got all that whiny stuff out of the way. Katie Wheler, you were a police officer.
Yes. I was.
I'm really glad that I have a police officer in my van, and I'm like, and it's all for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons. Okay, like, take us on this journey. I love this story. I love how you tell it because it's hysterical. So what happened? How did you go from that to this? And make that career change, because it's like you would have had a pension, you would have had it all laid out.
I used to have a pair of glasses as well that help me see when I drive, but I no longer have benefits, so I don't have those anymore because I sat on them. So, yeah, times have changed, but it's all good. I'm super happy, and that's what matters. So, yeah, I was a police officer for 16 years in Toronto.
What a
and
magic number. I was married for 16.
It is a magic number.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, I was a police officer for 16 years. I always wanted to be a police officer. I had my daughter when I was 18, and it was on just the 2 of us from the day she was born. So obviously a struggle with shift work and trying to be a mom and whatnot. Anyway, I loved my career. I had an amazing career. I did a lot of really cool things, a lot of fun things. But I really started to lose myself over time, physically, emotionally, big time. And then, yeah, long story short, I can't.
I don't want the short
No,
story.
I know, but
like
I
the
can't
long
get into
story.
too many of the details of it. But anyway, something happened at work, and I just knew I was in a bad way for a long time. I lost myself. If I wasn't working, I was laying on the couch doing nothing. Well, eating apple fritters or ice cream. And
Butter tarts.
anyways, we got involved in an incident at work, and I was off work for a little bit, and I drove past the Orange Theory Fitness in Whitby and actually got like angry because I'm like, Orange Theory Fitness, what a stupid name. Like, it bothered me because I didn't know what it meant.
I need to preface a little bit of this. I need to give a bit more backstory. And I know you're not going to go into details. Like, were you ever diagnosed with PTSD?
No.
Okay. But what I want to say is the way that you tell it, I think I related to it because you're like, I was in a really angry place.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can relate to whatever's happened to you in your life where you're pissed. Like, you're angry at everything because everything in your life feels disjointed and falling apart and you've lost control.
Yeah, totally. I couldn't even, my daughter would come home and it was like, what's for dinner? And I'm like, seriously, I have to get off the couch and make something. Like,
simple decisions are overwhelming.
Totally. It was just, but then at work I was very functioning, like very.
Because it's, it.
Right. And you had to be, right? So no, it was it was hard, and it was hard on my daughter. And then, I drove past the Orange Theory in Whitby, got really angry about the name.
I have this visual of Katie driving.
It's probably bang on.
Orange Theory? Like, what?
I was mad because I was very active growing up. I was very athletic, and I had never heard of it, so it bothered me. So I thought it was like this hole in the wall gym. I knew nothing about it. I had never heard of it, which also bothered me. And then I was mad enough that I went inside.
I'm going to show up. I know things about fitness.
I'm going to go in so I can say there's that gym that I went into before it went under. Anyway, I went in, and much to my surprise, I went in and I did the class, and the girls at the front desk were lovely. And I signed up. I came out of the class.
Life lesson right there. Somebody angry comes in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something you learned in the police force?
Exactly. The girl at the front desk after the class went to do her sales pitch with me, and I was like, I don't even care. Just give me the forms. They, to this day, laugh about it, how I was the easiest. And I signed up, kept coming back. And about a week later, I phoned my husband and said, who was my boyfriend at the time. I'm actually surprised he married me. But I phoned him and said, I'm doing this. And so I thought you signed up. He said, no, I'm buying one. And then here we are. I actually did it, which kind of surprised me. But I started making the phone calls. But for me, it was knowing there was a girl at the front desk named Carly at Whitby. And during my like seasonal depression times and all that, when I lay behind my blue light and just like, when am I going down south? She got me off my couch. She was this adorable, sweet, always smile on her face. The second you walked through the door, she was enough for me to know that she was going to actually miss me if I wasn't there. And I didn't want to disappoint her by not showing up.
The power of one person.
Yeah. So for me, it was her, and just knowing that the coaches genuinely cared about me being there, knowing that if I wasn't going, the head coach was going to actually call me at home and say, where are you? Because that's what we do, right? They keep you accountable and whatnot. So it really changed my life. I say it saved my life because it gave me a new beginning, right? So
I had to roll down the window because it stinks so bad in here.
It does, right?
I just smell so bad.
I put lemongrass in there before you came, by the way. I had the essential oils going.
I love it. I love your story. It's how you meet somebody and you're like kindred spirits. Like, yeah. I'm like working out beside her. I'm like, we just have the same. You can tell we have the same mindset, right?
I don't know if you could tell though. I was trying to be really professional because the camera was on. I'm a yeller. So I'm usually at the gym like, let's go, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk to her. But I like to talk during the workout because everything's a struggle.
And I felt really bad. So sometimes, like, I don't swear on camera ever, but like in real life, and especially when I'm working out, I'm like, yeah. So I felt really bad for the people in the class with me.
Yeah, my daughter actually told me at Whitby, after every class, she's like, you need to stop. You can't swear when it's yours. So I try not to.
It offends a lot of people.
I know.
So I'm really sorry. Yeah. If you were in my class and I
swear. Yeah, you shouldn't swear. You're bad.
How about you take off your judgment pants? Okay, so let's go back to the whole principle. So I had no idea. So today when I walked in, this was my first experience of it. And what I loved in the class, first of all, this story is what sold me, right? So she phoned me when I was doing Michelle Ivan show, and she's like, hey, I want to be a vendor booth. And I was like, yeah. And she told me your story of walking away and starting over. And to me, that is the bravest, most courageous thing you can do. Like, the most powerful thing someone said to me, my girlfriend, Amanda Driscoll, if you don't want anything to change, keep doing what you're doing.
I remember hearing you say that at the show, actually. And I was like, had a little bit of an ugly cry going on in the background because it's so true.
Like, I feel like, but it takes so much courage to leave what you know. Even if you know it's not good, it takes so much courage. And when you think about what you had, what was the straw? Like, what do you think?
You know what's funny? The unit I left out of, I actually was in like the best spot you could ever be in. People thought I was absolutely crazy to leave. I did surveillance, so I was finally Monday to Friday. I had a normal life for the first time in years. But I feel like by the time I got there, I was already too far gone. And I remember one guy on my team knew that I was leaving, and was very supportive. And I always knew I needed a change because I felt like, not to get too, I felt like I hadn't given my daughter the life that she deserved, because of doing shift work and stuff like that. And I
that
just
actually makes me like want to cry when
yeah,
you say that.
And it was really hard. And the one, not that I don't want to ever live in regret, but I wish I could have been braver to make the decision when she was younger, because now she's older, right? But I did still have all the time off with her and stuff like that. But I think for me, it was just knowing, I was very lucky as well. I had the support of my husband, and he was very much so like, you have one life. And I've always said that you have one life and you don't get a do-over.
If I were to tell you anything I hear over and over again, I call myself a translator, right? So I don't learn anything new. I just translate what I hear from people and the patterns I see and the stories. And the one thing everybody says to me over and over is, I wish I'd done it sooner. Like, it's the same thing. Like, they thought about it for so long. It's making the decision that's the hardest part.
Yeah. But then it's this breath of fresh air.
Like once you decide, you're like, the wall's not there anymore.
Exactly. And I still to this day get phone calls from people saying, oh, like people I used to work with, oh, like Peterborough's hiring, like basically in case you screwed up. Peterborough's hiring. And I'm like, I'm so, like, don't get me wrong. I'm averaging maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours sleep a night right now. I am so happy. It's hard. I've never owned a business, but I mean, thank God the franchise is so supportive, right? Like, they are phenomenal. They're there 24/7. If I need to call them, they're there. They're so supportive. But for me, it's making like everything that I wanted to accomplish here has already literally happened in a week and a half. I had a girl after her first workout come up to me, and I said to her, like, Orange Theory is different. We are that different. We just don't want to get you here. If you're not coming, we will call you. We actually want to be that difference in your life. And she said to me after her very first workout, she got off the treadmill and said, this is the most inclusive gym I've ever been to.
3, 2, 1, turn it up. That's it. Eyes on the show. Good. Big power. This one, April. This one, Tori. Let's go.
What's your daughter today?
She's good.
Like, with you making the change, like, when did you have that conversation with her?
No, she's always supported me. From the time she was little, like, she was 3 years old, and I remember, like, breaking point of like, you know what, your colors, you can sort the laundry. We're a team. Like, I'm not your slave. We're a team. She is the most phenomenal kid. I got totally lucky. I was hard on her, but she has supported me to the point, like, that poor kid is here because, like, I can do whatever I want to her, right? It's not illegal. I can make her work from 4 a.m. till 10 at night, which she did last week 7 times in a row. So she, she's super awesome. She's so happy. She sends me, I got home the one night and there's flowers. I'm so proud of you for following your dreams. Like, she's just, she's
Don't
a cool kid.
tell your kids what to do. Show them.
Yeah, no, she's a cool kid, and that's, yeah.
What advice do you have for somebody out there that's sitting at home and they know I have a good job? I always say it's when you think it's good, but is it good enough?
I did have it made in terms of I had my pension, I had benefits, I had security and knowing I could pay for my house and whatnot, but I didn't have happiness, so none of that mattered, right? So for me, if you're sitting at home and you're wondering if you should do it, if you're truly passionate about something and you believe in it and it's what actually makes you thrive, it's going to be successful no matter what. So you don't have to be afraid. You just do it and you make it happen. I was living my life in this, I don't know, I was in a lull. I
call it existing, not living.
That's exactly what I was doing for years, for years. And don't get me wrong, there's still times like it's not always easy, but
I say it's on the other side of whatever decision you make, there are just as many problems. They're different problems.
Yeah.
And the difference is that because you're passionate about those problems, the motivation to get over that hurdle is easier. Right?
Yeah.
So I think of it like a workout, right? When you're doing a workout that's fueled, like I'm on that treadmill with you beside me, and if you hadn't been beside me, I probably would have quit 2 minutes sooner or 3 minutes sooner because I was like, So it's the same problem, but the motivation to finish it and to overcome it it's easier because you have something that you're like, I don't know, it's so... When you said to me, you're like, oh, I haven't slept and I don't do anything, it's because, what's that old saying, love what you do and you won't work a day in your life.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it is. And I think we all feel this way. That one of the guys who was working with me from day one, he's gone away to school now, and he's like, I'm actually sad to leave here. He goes, I don't feel like I'm actually working. And everybody has said, I have another guy who said to me, like, this job's changed my life. Like, we're already changing lives, and it's each other's first and everybody else's as well, right? Like, it's just...
Well, you're doing something in the mental health field is actually what you're doing. Okay, so talk to me about the theory of this Orange Theory. Like, who started it?
Ellen Latham, and she was actually, it's a very cool story. She was actually a single mom who lost her job, and she started a little Pilates studio in Fort Lauderdale. And then they came to her, a girl who was in her class. Her husband was a franchisee, and he sat her down and talked to her and wanted to turn it into a franchise. And the whole deal took place on a little coffee table. Now there's over 1,200 locations in the world.
So 1,200.
Yeah.
How did she come up with the science of Orange Theory?
Well, there's a whole board now that designs the workouts, right? So there's a kinesiologist, scientist, cardiologist that design all the workouts, and she sits on that as well. Our coaches don't design the workout, they just deliver the workout.
So the theory of Orange Theory is what?
So the theory of Orange Theory, we train in 5 different heart rate zones. It's all a 1 hour full body workout.
I didn't take my heart rate off.
You're trying to jack our heart rate monitor.
God, I just remembered that. Okay.
We would have called you at home.
Are you still monitoring it on the monitor?
You actually
right now?
might still be up there.
Okay, keep going.
And you're still orange. But so the whole science behind Orange Theory is we do train in 5 different heart rate zones. Primarily what we call your green zone, which is your fat loss zone, and your orange zone, which is your cardio zone. So if you stay in your orange zone for 12 or more minutes of the class, your body will actually continue to burn calories for up to 36 hours after the class. Right? So your apple fritter thing?
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool.
You can.
How long ago did you leave your job and make this decision?
I resigned in October. It's 2009 now, right? So last October.
It's 2019. Actually.
No, that's what I meant.
2009 is 10 years ago.
I'm 10 years behind. Yeah, I left in October.
So you're you're not even a year out.
No, we're gonna go out when it's a year.
Do you miss it?
No, you know what? I don't miss it at all. There has not been a day. One of my friends messaged me the other day and was talking about getting out, one of my girlfriends from another service, and I said, well, if it makes any difference to you, I have not even looked back. I have not thought twice about it. But I also got to the point that I felt like Friday night, I felt sick to my stomach about the thought of going to work Monday morning. And my job wasn't even, I was in the easiest unit. I was just done. And I'm like, I didn't want to live like that anymore. So yeah, I don't miss it at all.
Grateful for everything it gave you. Happy for the change.
Yes, very, very. I'm happy that, it a time in my life where it was able.
And the skill set. I mean, the skill set you would have got from that position. Even when she got on the, she's still chasing people. She's on the rowing machine. She's like,
Yeah.
oh God,
Yeah.
God, Katie's gonna get me.
Yeah. Your watts were good.
She's running beside me on the treadmill. I'm like, ooh.
Well, it's like, it really took me a while though to just run just because.
I was waiting for her to be like,
why would you run just because when you're not chasing someone?
Parking with MF, proudly sponsored by JJ Stewart Motors. Family owned and operated for over 100 years. Small town service, big city selection. Go visit them, Highway 7 on your way into Norwood, or check them out online, jjstewart.ca, to find your perfect vehicle.